France, 1682. The most powerful king in Europe. The most opulent palace ever built. 700 rooms, 1,600 fountains, 67 acres of garden, ceilings painted with gods, and human waste in the corridors. Not in one corridor, not occasionally. An eyewitness writing at the time called Versailles the receptacle of all humanity's horrors.
The passageways, the courtyards, the corridors, full of urine and feces. The park outside, stagnant water and dead cats. And this was the center of French civilization. This is not the Versailles you have seen in paintings. No courtiers in silks drifting through perfumed halls. This is the real one, where 10,000 people lived, competed, and relieved themselves, in the most famous palace in the world. Today, we live through one full day at Versailles in 1682, hour by hour, detail by detail. Stay with me, because the gold makes it worse. Dawn, the most powerful man in Europe, wakes up. Not alone. The first valet de chambre has slept in the same room as the king every night. At 8:30, he approaches the royal bed. "Sire, it is time to get up." What follows is called the lever, the rising ceremony. Within minutes, the bedroom begins to fill. The king's physician enters, the king's surgeon, then the princes of the blood, then the dukes, then the marshals, the ambassadors, the courtiers, each wave admitted in strict order of rank, each desperate to be present. By the time the king is fully dressed, approximately 100 men have watched him do it. This is not a private moment. This is a performance. The highest privilege at Versailles is handing the king his shirt. The right to do so belongs to the most senior prince present. If a more senior prince enters mid-dressing, the lesser one must step aside. The shirt changes hands. These are the men who govern France, competing to hand a shirt. But before the shirt, before any of this, there is a more basic necessity. The king needs to use the bathroom. His bathroom is a gilded chair with a hole in it, the pierced chair. Beneath the hole, a ceramic pot. The king conducts his business on this chair while receiving ministers, while granting audiences, while signing documents. The Duc de Saint-Simon, who documented life at Versailles in his memoirs, describes this as entirely normal. Not remarkable, simply what the king did in the morning. When the king is done, a dedicated servant carries the pot through the palace to one of the 30 cesspits dug beneath the building. 30 cesspits for 10,000 people. Do the arithmetic. If this channel is new to you, this is what we do here. Real history. No filters, no romanticizing. Stay with me, it gets worse. The corridors, what no painting ever showed you. You step outside the royal apartments. The smell hits you before the light does. Versailles in 1682 has no functioning sewage system adequate for its population. The latrines that exist, tucked under staircases, in the attic wings, in the servants' passages, are chronically insufficient. The palace was designed to impress, not to house 10,000 people's bodily functions. So where do 10,000 people go? Behind curtains, in fireplaces, in stairwells, in the dark corners of corridors that connect one wing to another. The Princesse d'Harcourt, documented by Saint Simon himself, was known to relieve herself in corridors while walking, without stopping. Her reasoning? Her blood was so noble that it would be beneath her to pause. The servants cleaned. Louis XIV ordered the corridors cleaned once a week. Once a week, 10,000 people, 7 days. By day 7, the floors were not floors anymore. Outside, in the courtyards and the Avenue Saint-Cloud, chamber pots were emptied from windows at night. Passers-by learned to walk carefully. Even Marie Antoinette, a century later, was reportedly struck, walking through the courtyard, by waste falling from above. In the minister's wing, at the base of the building, a pork butcher had set up his stall. Every morning, slaughtering pigs at the base of the Palace of the Sun King. Blood in the courtyard, waste in the corridors, dead animals in the avenue, and above all of it, the Hall of Mirrors. 357 windows, 20,000 candles, the most beautiful room in Europe. The smell reached it. Midday, what you wear, what you believe. You have not bathed. Not because you are lazy, not because you do not care about cleanliness, because your physician has told you not to. The chief royal physician, Guy Crescent Fagon, is the most respected doctor in France. His medical opinion: hot water opens the pores. Open pores admit disease. Baths cause headaches, paralysis, and death. He has read Galen. He has studied for decades. He is wrong. But in 1682, there is no way to know this. So instead of washing, you change your linen. White linen against the skin absorbs the sweat, the grease, the dirt. Change the linen. You are clean. Louis XIV changes his shirt 3 times a day. He does not wash the body beneath it. Stiff white cuffs, pressed linen collar, the visible signs of cleanliness, the invisible reality, unwashed skin that has not seen water in weeks. The solution is perfume. Musk from the glands of the musk deer, civet from the glands of the civet cat, applied heavily to skin, to wigs, to clothing, to furniture. The miasma theory. If bad smell causes disease, then overwhelming it with perfume is medical intervention. It does not work, but it is expensive, and expensive things feel powerful. The result is what became known across Europe as the smell of Versailles. Musk and civet. Human sweat from 10,000 unwashed bodies. Urine in the corridor outside. Tallow from 20,000 candles. Foreign ambassadors described it as a smell of rotting meat and excrement perceptible before you entered the courtyard. We are halfway through this day. If this is hitting differently than what you expected, that like button is right there. Because the afternoon is where the bodies break down. The afternoon, what your body carries. The wig on your head weighs between 1 and 2 kilograms. Made of human hair, horse hair, and goat hair, powdered with flour to achieve the fashionable white. Beneath it, your own hair, unwashed, greased flat, shaved at the temples to make the wig fit. Every person at Versailles has lice. Every wig, every bed, every padded chair is a habitat. The powder applied to wigs serves a dual purpose. It creates the fashionable white silhouette, and it suffocates the lice. Temporarily. The water at Versailles is not safe to drink. The canal system draws from the Seine. the same river that receives the runoff from the cesspits below. Typhoid, dysentery, intestinal illness, common at Versailles, accepted as the cost of court life. The fountains are spectacular. The water that fed them was lethal. Evening. The political trap. You are a duke. You own vast estates in the Loire Valley. You have a chateau. You are not there. You are here, in a borrowed room in a wing of Versailles that smells of the corridor outside your door. Because Louis XIV has made it clear, if you are not seen at Versailles, you do not exist. His own words, when asked a favor for an absent nobleman. We never see him. 3 words that end careers. Every French nobleman of consequence lives at Versailles, not by force, by social gravity. Leave and your rivals gain ground. Leave and the king forgets your name. Versailles was not built for pleasure. It was built as a prison without walls. The hierarchy of who holds the shirt, who scratches on the door instead of knocking, who sits in which chair. All of it designed to keep 10,000 potential rebels too busy competing for status to have time to conspire against the crown. The smell in the corridors was the price of this control. Dusk, the gardens. The gardens of Versailles are the most admired in Europe. 67 acres, 30,000 trees, 1,600 fountains. They are also the overflow system. When the latrines inside are full, the gardens receive the rest. In summer, there is not enough water pressure to feed 1,600 fountains at once. So a team of servants follows the king through the gardens, signaling ahead by whistle to activate fountains on his path and shut them down behind him. The king always walks in a moving circle of water. Everything outside that circle, still. This is the perfect metaphor for Versailles. The beauty is real. The garden is everything the painters showed you, as long as you stand exactly where the king is standing. One step to the side, still water, dead cats in the avenue, and the smell that follows you in from the corridors. Night. The end of this day. The ceremony reverses itself. At 11:30, the going to bed ceremony begins. The same 100 men who watched the king dress this morning now watch him undress. The most senior prince removes the king's collar. The next removes his coat. And again, the most senior man present hands the king his nightshirt. These men have been here since 8:30 this morning, 15 hours, performing choreographed deference. The last candle is held by whichever nobleman has been designated the honor for that night. Holding a candle, while a king goes to sleep, is considered one of the great privileges available to a French nobleman in 1682. Here is what history does not tell you about Versailles. Everyone there knew it was filthy. The ambassadors wrote about it. The courtiers complained. Louis XIV himself ordered cleanings, commissioned latrines. But the system was impossible. You could not send the nobility home. That was the entire point. So you lived with the consequences. The same man who designed the most beautiful palace in Europe designed a political system that made it impossible to keep clean. The gold was real. The Hall of Mirrors was real. And the waste in the corridor outside it was also real. The next time someone tells you that the Ancien Regime was elegant, that Versailles was a world of beauty, remember the corridor. Remember the Princesse d'Harcourt. Remember the 30 cesspits. The beauty was real. So was everything underneath it. Sources for this documentary include the memoirs of the Duc de Saint-Simon, Georges Vigorello's Concepts of Cleanliness, and Alain Corbin's The Foul and the Fragrant. The eyewitness quote, calling Versailles the receptacle of all humanity's horrors, is from Tourneau de la Morandière. Everything you heard is documented. Everything is real. Next week, Rome, the year 410, the day the Eternal City fell. What the soldiers found when they got inside, what 600 years of empire actually looked like on the day it ended. Subscribe. Leave a comment below. Tell me which part of this day you could not have survived. Your answers build this channel.